Slow your breathing. Do not hurry through this. Do not swipe away. Do not divide your focus. Wherever you find yourself, stop for a moment. Not because everything around you has paused, but because you must pause deliberately. Most people never truly stop. They move endlessly from one thought to another, one reaction to the next, without noticing who is directing them. They wake up already tight, already guarded, already preparing explanations. They talk before hearing. They answer before understanding. They assign meaning before gathering facts. This continuous internal motion breaks attention apart, and a divided mind loses clarity. Confusion is not born from complexity, it is born from haste. Strain does not come from disagreement, it comes from judgments that were never examined. Separation between people does not start with arguments, it begins with misunderstanding left uncorrected. This session is not meant to amuse you, it is not meant to excite you, it is not meant to affirm your existing views. It is guidance. Guidance demands stillness. Guidance demands humility. Guidance demands patience. Wisdom does not announce itself loudly. It does not compete for notice. It does not rush to impress. Wisdom waits until the mind becomes quiet. Today is about perception, not about what others do, but how you interpret what you see. Today is about restraint, not silence as submission, but silence as command. Today is about asking from clarity, not from need, not asking for reassurance, not asking for leverage, but asking to see reality as it truly is. If you are here, something within you already senses the price of confusion. You may not be able to explain it clearly, but you recognize it. Most people encounter teachings like this once, agree briefly, and disappear. They tell themselves they understand. They tell themselves they will remember. They don't. They return to impulse. They return to assumption. They return to reaction instead of direction. Over time, this lack of discipline costs them peace, respect, and perspective. If you want stability instead of confusion, ground yourself now, not later, not when it feels comfortable. Neglecting discipline always feels harmless at first, until consequences appear. Subscribe now. Remain connected to instruction, because focus fades faster than people realize. Stay grounded. The Stoic thinkers taught something that unsettles many when they first encounter it. Pain does not arise from events. It arises from interpretation. Two people can face the same situation. One stays composed, the other collapses inwardly. The difference is not toughness, it is perception. So the guiding question of this entire teaching is simple and demanding. Am I perceiving clearly or reacting without awareness? This question removes excuses. That is why it is uncomfortable. Consider it carefully. Am I listening to understand or listening to confirm what I already believe? Am I present in this moment or preparing to control what comes next? Am I grounded in reality or seeking comfort for insecurity? Most people think communication is about saying the correct words. They rehearse phrases, they prepare replies, they track reactions. This is the error. Communication is not centered on speech. It is centered on perception. When perception is distorted, words follow that distortion. An undisciplined mind jumps to conclusions. It fills silence with fear. It assigns meaning where none was offered. A trained mind pauses. It observes tone, timing, and context. It allows information to arrive fully before responding. You do not control how others react. You do not control how others feel. You do not control outcomes. You control attention. Attention shapes judgment. Judgment shapes action. Action shapes consequence. This is the foundation of Stoic discipline. And this is where most people fail, quietly, repeatedly. They interpret silence as rejection. When someone pauses, they inject fear into the space. They interpret reflection as resistance. When someone considers, they assume avoidance. They interpret difference as hostility. When someone sees differently, they treat it as opposition. These interpretations are not facts. They are emotional shortcuts. Emotion overrides reason when the ego demands certainty. The mind prefers an incorrect conclusion over uncertainty. That is why people rush to label, rush to explain, rush to defend. People surrender inner authority when they seek validation instead of clarity. They measure themselves by response. They assign worth based on reaction. This is loss of self-governance. The problem is never the response itself. It is the meaning attached to it. A neutral remark becomes an insult. A pause becomes disrespect. A boundary becomes hostility. Not because these things are true, but because insecurity interprets them that way. When questions are asked with expectation, honesty retreats. People sense pressure even when it is silent. When questions are asked with patience, truth emerges, because safety invites sincerity. The Stoic does not correct others first. He corrects perception. He notices where emotion seeks control. He notices where assumption replaces observation. And he adjusts inwardly before speaking outwardly. This is self-mastery. Discipline is not domination. Domination forces outward. Discipline aligns inward. Many misunderstand this. They think discipline is denial or rigidity. It is not. Discipline is the quiet choice to act according to reason rather than impulse. Restraint is not weakness. It is the refusal to rush, interrogate, or impress. Rushing signals anxiety. Interrogating signals insecurity. Impressing signals dependence on approval. A disciplined person does not extract meaning. He allows meaning to surface. Now, the 7 questions. Not as strategies, not as tools for advantage, not as ways to steer outcomes. They are invitations. They communicate presence, not pressure. They communicate respect, not expectation. Ask them calmly, without leaning forward, without anticipation. Then remain silent. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is space. What matters most to you at this moment? This honors the present instead of forcing projection. It does not demand certainty. It allows reality to speak as it is. Presence outweighs planning. Plans shift. Present values reveal direction. What exhausts you that you rarely express? This recognizes unseen weight. It assumes nothing. It demands nothing. Some burdens grow heavier because they remain unnamed. Listening here requires restraint, not fixing, not correcting. What makes you feel respected? Respect runs deeper than approval. Approval changes. Respect stabilizes. This reveals boundaries, not preferences. Boundaries are honored, not debated. What do you wish others understood about you? This often releases long-held frustration. Misunderstanding is frequently carried in silence. Do not defend. Do not explain intentions. Listen. Understanding does not require agreement. It requires acknowledgement. What helps you regain calm? Peace is personal. What soothes one unsettles another. This teaches when to step back rather than impose. What are you proud of that goes unnoticed? Dignity lives here, not performance, not applause. This recognizes effort without demanding display. What does support mean to you? Never assume. Assumption erodes respect. Support misunderstood becomes intrusion. Ask and wait. Do not interrupt. Do not explain, do not defend. Here, silence is discipline, and discipline communicates safety. Begin each day grounded, not reactive. Do not start by absorbing noise. Do not begin by scanning problems. Begin by orienting the mind. Ask what is within reach today and what must be released. When faced with disrespect, govern your response. Do not mirror disorder. Do not escalate tone. Strength is revealed through composure. When pressure increases, slow your speech. Speed exposes agitation. Calm restores balance. When misunderstood, clarify once, clearly and calmly, then release it. Repeating becomes negotiation. Negotiation weakens authority. Choose silence when speech would serve ego. Not every thought needs expression, not every moment needs explanation. Release outcomes beyond your control. Clinging to them drains focus from what you can govern. Acceptance is not surrender. It is steadiness without collapse. You still act, but without panic. Endurance is remaining composed when impulse demands movement. It is remaining seated when pride urges display. It is waiting when impatience pushes action. Patience is quiet strength. It does not seek recognition. It does not rush results. Those who endure silently often outlast those who rush loudly. Character is not intention, it is repetition. A single action proves nothing. Consistency reveals everything. Trust is built through repetition, not explanation, not promises. Grounding comes from restraint, from what you refuse to say, from what you refuse to chase. Live by principle, not mood. Moods shift, principles remain. Ask from clarity, not hunger. Hunger distorts perception. Clarity steadies it. Clarity is not loud. It does not compete. It does not force persuasion. Clarity is steady. If this session brought steadiness, return to Daily Stoic Vault, because wisdom weakens without repetition. Understanding fades without practice. Subscribe now, not from excitement, but because discipline requires structure. Most people believe they will remember what matters. They don't. They drift. They forget. They return only after confusion resurfaces. Stay. Discipline is not built through intensity. It is built by those who return, again and again